What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new series from ObsPlays. This series is all about Pokemon Go. This game is being played by everyone I see everywhere I go, so I picked it up myself and I've played a little bit of it. As you can see, I've spent a few hours playing this game. I'm level 25 here. Most of it through cracking lucky eggs that I haven't paid for through real money, thankfully. But if you spend real money on this game, that's not terrible. I actually wouldn't mind spending a few dollars on this mobile game. It's not the absolute worst bang for your buck, just because it gets you outside and you socialize, see your neighbors, and kind of help out with when you put the lures up. Everyone kind of gets together and spends the time together, so it's nice. This video is going to be about IVs in your Pokemon. So IVs stand for individual value, and they're basically the hidden traits and hidden strengths that your Pokemon's going to have that the game doesn't really blatantly tell you about up front. They kind of secretly put that into the CP and the hit points. It's like a mixture of both. Okay, so there's 3 stats, and just don't mind me as I catch this Caterpie, excuse me. There's 3 stats that the IVs could be, and they're attack, stamina, and HP. And your bonus points, basically, they're you can think of them that way, go from 0 to 15 in each category. So you could have a total of 45 total bonus stats on your Pokemon, or a total of 0 bonus stats. What this is going to do, it's going to shape their final, their current hit points and CP, and their definite final CP and hit points. So say you powered up something that wasn't as strong or didn't have as many IVs as another Pokemon, perhaps at a lower CP. When they get fully to the end of their bar, the one with the more IVs is going to have more attack at the end of the day, or more hit points or something, and just be a better build for you, as long as the moves work for you and all that too. So you have to take that into account. The easiest way to be showing you is basically do my night's cleaning. These are the Pokemon I caught today, and I'm going to go look at what I caught and see if there's anything good, and basically candy out the ones that I know I'm never going to want to keep, and keep the ones that are possible level up targets. Okay. I found that things that you catch in lures, eggs that you hatch, typically give you better IV Pokemon overall, but that's not to say you can't catch something very good, because you can, but it's just been my experience that you hatch and get better stuff in lures than you running around and getting other Pokemon. But you still need the candy, so you still need to run around. Okay, so for example, let's take this Squirtle here. If I've got 150 Squirtle candies, I'm in evolving territory where I could possibly want to be evolving this Squirtle. And he's a big one, right? He's 541, but if his IVs aren't very good, then he's just not going to be a good Blastoise at the end of the day. I'm going to spend all of my candies, level him up, spend a bunch of Stardust powering up the Blastoise, and he's just not going to be as strong as he otherwise could be if it was just a different Squirtle I started with. So that's really the point, is to know before you start what you're doing. Okay, so what you can do is, there's a bunch of different ways you can check your IVs. It's basically just a mathematical formula of your power times this divided by 2 equals this, and that other thing. It's out there, and there's different apps you can use that will help you assist that, basically plug in the numbers for you, or you plug them in and it'll spit out the answers of what your IVs are. There's different tracker websites that you can log into, and they'll help you out and kind of sort your IVs for you. It's however you want to do it. At the end of the day, it's just okay, this is a Squirtle, he's level, whatever this level represents. This is what this app looks like in particular. So the Pokemon level will be level 22, right? And this is going to be the range of CPs that I could have for this, any given Squirtle at the level he's at, right? So say I maxed out this Squirtle completely at trainer level 25, which I'm at. He could, his most CP he could have would be 454 and 44 hit points. And if you hit calculate, that's going to show you his 15 perfect stat, 15, 15, 15. And the lowest he could be, he goes all the way from 454 all the way down to 320 and 34. And there's his 000, 0 bonus stat. That would be a garbage Squirtle if you had that. And so what you want is obviously something, up here in the 80 to 90 to 100% range. if you have that, like, your Squirtle's gonna get more stats when he uses the multiplier when he evolves into a Wartortle, and then even more when he evolves into Blastoise. So, you know, candies take a while to build up, weeks, sometimes months for, you know, if you live in a rural area for sure. So you don't. This is for Abra, excuse me, not for Squirtle. So that's the stats for Abra. But we can look up this Squirtle and see what kind of range we're looking at on him. All the way down in the Squirtsville. Alright. So, train level 25, Pokemon level 22, CP, as you can see, mid-ground would be 562 CP. So if it was like a 7, you know, if he had 7-point stats across the board or so, he would give you about that CP. But he's lower than that, he's 541. So we fixed that there. And then he's 64 health, which is actually pretty pretty healthy. That's the most he could have at this level. So that part's good. Calculate. And so you can see he's going to have 15 bonus stamina, but his defense and attack bonus is not very good at all. So he's basically just going to be a candied out Squirtle. And so you can see, like, it's kind of hard to see that without knowing what you're looking for in the Squirtle, and that's why you need to run the IVs, because he may seem like a good level of target otherwise, but he's really not at all. One that you hatch would be a way better target, or just a higher level in general, where they had a higher CP. I should actually go over that a little bit more. Not CP, excuse me, a higher IV level. Where this 37 to 44% you see here, so that's kind of like the percentage of perfection it could be. So he's in that range of, this is his potential of what his perfection would have been if he had more points in these categories. So if he had, you know, full points, he would be 100%, as you guys saw earlier. I should have mentioned that, excuse me everybody. Didn't need to max out the Pokemon level to see that, but there it is again, 100%. And so, like, you know, I know to candy him out, basically, because he's just, you know, he's just not a Squirtle that I'm going to use. So it's like, okay, you can turn him into candy. So you go through your Mons, and sometimes, like, you'll find a low CP, like, Mon that possibly has high IVs, but then it's going to be the extra amount for you to level him and candy him out. So it's not necessarily worth it for you to do that. But you're looking for, like, you know, I caught this Eevee, and she seems very strong. Like, she's up there. She's not great. But you gotta run her through, see how she looks like, you know, under the numbers, basically. And I don't know where I'm going with my alphabet anymore. How my night's going. How are you guys doing? Good? Please, sit down. Stay a while. Double E. Yeah, that happened to me last time, too. And I think I looked at her before, but I can't remember. Okay, so 530, so we're above the bar. So getting there. And 67 hit points, so not too great in the hit points. So 75 to 80%, that's not terrible at all. It's in a good range of bonuses, you know. She would be a relatively big Vaporeon or Flareon or whatever when she evolves. But, you know, if you're going to spend all the time doing it and looking for the candies, you should really have great targets. And so what a lot of people do is, you know, let's look at what some of my guys look like up here. They will label their targets or just their Pokemon with numbers, so you can know what, at like a glance, what perfection number they are, like how close they are to getting up there. So like this Jolteon, I know is 86% perfect, right? So she's not super great, but she's very close to being very good. It's, you know, she has Discharge, which isn't her best secondary move, but, you know, what are you gonna do? So it's a way of, like, kind of knowing, like, the true potential of your Pokemon, basically. So it's good to run the numbers and know which one. And I find that in this game that you're not going to catch just, even if you're catching a Dragonite in the wild or whatever, it doesn't necessarily going to have a high IV count, and you're putting rare Dratini candies into it to level them up, and at the end of the day, if you have, like, you know, this Dratini isn't a great example, but he's 75% perfect, But if you have like a 90-95% one, you know, that will just be a beefcake of a Dragonite one day. And you'll, you know, but if you burned all your candies on this fancy Dragonair you caught or Dragonite and he actually had sucky IVs, then you're not going to be very happy at the end of the day when you, like, you know, realize the potential you could have had. That happened to me with a few of my Pokemon. I leveled up before I, like, you know, I knew about IVs. I just was like, would assume that some of my guys were powerful without actually looking them up, and they were not. Like this Gengar, I leveled up and I have extreme buyer's remorse from him. It's okay. Like, you know, he still makes up a squad someday, but right now I'm looking to probably try to hatch a new Ghastly so I can start again. And you know, Snorlax is another one. Like, he's a very, very powerful Pokemon, and his candies are super rare, super hard to come by. And you don't want to be dumping your very extremely rare Snorlax candies into a Snorlax that at the end of the day is going to be, you know, a lot suckier than he could have been. You know, and to give you guys an idea of what this range looks like for, like, a top tier Pokemon like Snorlax, let's just look at this real quick. Sorry for the wait, everybody. Okay, so say I had maxed out a Snorlax, right? Middle would be about 2200, 225 hit points. If he was like fully perfect IV, just a magical great Christmas Santa Snorlax, he would be 2356 instead of the 2200. So another 100 and, you know, 50 points, 156 points of attack power, or combat power as it were. And a fair amount more hit points, 5 more hit points. The CP is really where it's at, all the way down to 2042. So, you know, it depends how much you care about those numbers, but just to let you guys know, like, you know, if you say you caught a Snorlax at, like, say he was like right here, you're like, wow, it's an 18, not even, say it's like, oh, he's 1795 Snorlax, 93, he looks really good, you know, and he is fine for where he's at, but you're going to spend these candies leveling him up, and at the end of the day, that's only like a, you know, a 40% Snorlax. Whereas if you had, like, leveled up one that you knew was, like, say you level up this one, 73, right, that's going to be somewhere around here. That's a little bit too generous for my Snorlax. A little bit higher than that, though. See, about there. So 1901, right? You know, and I'm not necessarily going to level them up because you have to take into account how many you're spending the same candies to fill the bar as you are to, like, possible, you know, even more to rather to fill that bar up to where the not so great Snorlax is, for you to catch up to that one and then surpass him, right, with even the more candies. But, like, you know, you have to, like, to figure out what's that worth it to you. Like, how much of this bar are you willing to fill up, like, go back to give a good IV per Pokemon, and how do the IVs need to be for you to want to fill up that much and spend the extra candies. You know, if you catch something great, in my opinion, you should battle with it until it's not good for you anymore. And if you need to bump him up a level, then you probably should do that, as long as his IVs are just, you know, reasonable. But if you do catch something that's like 90-95% or above, or you, like, hatch something, just check it out, because, like, they have very, very powerful, like, to give you an example of something I hatched recently, or let me see what here. There's gotta be something I can show you quickly. Yeah, the Growlithe, for instance, right? This is one of the Growlithe I hatched probably last week, and, you know, he's got 93 perfection in his stats. So, you know, let me switch him to an Arcanine and see what he would look like. Arcanine. So if he was leveled about there and there, I mean, you guys get the idea. It's about 90-some%. So, you know, at my level it'd be 2225, versus a lower one, which would be, you know, about 2,000 or so. So, you know, it's just look at the ones you hatch, especially. They're going to be pretty powerful overall. Check out the IVs in your guys, and, you know, you'll learn to, like, name them, grow attached to them, and they'll do good to you because like you spent the time to make like scout out the good ones for you, right? And you know, you'll win more gyms because of it, and you'll get more Poke Coins, which will let you get more lucky eggs and level up and get more other stuff. That's how that works. Alright guys, well this has been super long, and we'll probably talk about throw techniques on the next video. You know, a bunch of stuff to come, so please stay tuned and join me, and it was a pleasure. This is another ponytail. I hatched this today too. Look at this, 87%. Or maybe I got this is the last one I hatched. But like, look at that. That's a hatched Pokemon. You hatched them. Oh, get to walking. That was get to walking, people. You get such good stuff from the eggs. All right, later, everybody.